Hey, I'm Congressman Garret from Louisiana, and I'm very sorry that I'm not able to be there with you. I promise I'd much rather be there than be here, but unfortunately we're voting right now, so I can't join you. In any case, our waterways are absolutely critical to our maritime commerce, to our trade, and to our economy and jobs in the United States of America. As you well know, nearly 23 million jobs in our country are dependent upon our ports and our waterways. At home in Louisiana, where we have 5 of the top 15 ports by tonnage, it ties back to about 1 in every 5 jobs in our home state. 100% of our waterborne commerce is actually on water. I hope you caught that. That was a joke. No, it really is amazing that 99% of our international trade is through our ports and waterways, on our ships traversing the United States and, of course, all around the globe. These ports, these waterways that we have in the United States are absolutely fundamental. One of the problems with infrastructure investment in the United States is that we are trying to get involved in too many things. We don't need to get involved in every ball field, swimming pool, and other project that someone comes up with. We need to focus our limited federal resources on true priorities, true national priorities. Ports and waterways and our maritime transportation system certainly fits that bill. The amazing thing is that we've watched as the Panamanians have gone through and they have entirely renovated the Panama Canal, the channel and the lock structures. They've deepened them and they've widened them pretty much in a shorter period of time than we've even been able to just deepen our ports. So we've got to move forward in a way that more efficiently invest in our maritime transportation system, the 25,000 miles of waterways that we have around our country. As we've seen for several years, we've seen increased draft restrictions on our waterways, on our rivers across the nation. As you all know, draft restrictions, first of all, it undermines the credibility or the reliability of our maritime transportation system in the United States. If a boat sets sail weeks ahead coming to your port, and as they're on their way there, as they're cruising, they're then notified that there's a draft restriction on the port that they're calling, that's a major problem. We have got to be a reliable federal partner. We've got to maintain authorized depths of our navigation channels, and we've got to ensure that the funding is there on an annual basis. While we have provided some additional flexibility in the Water Resources Development Act of 2016 to give ports additional authority and discretion to carry out some of these activities, we can go farther. Why are we not looking at longer-term contracts with dredgers, giving them the dollars, the resources in the contracts so they can maintain our navigation channels at authorized depths for 5 years at a time? Why are we doing it on an annual basis on our maritime transportation system, while on our interstates and other surface streets, we're doing longer-term contracts? Why aren't we looking at regional contracts to where we can bring in dredgers and others and benefit from economies of scale? Why aren't we giving the ports themselves additional discretion to, and potentially even defunding, to maintain the depths of their channels in a way that it represents their best interest, as opposed to doing this shotgun approach across the United States where we have winners, losers, some get hit, some don't. There have been many recent proposals on changes to our Inland Waterway Trust Fund and the Harbor Maintenance Trust Fund. Let me just say this. The inland waterway users, I want to thank you for stepping up and agreeing or actually proffering an increase in your user fee. In regard to the Harbor Maintenance Trust Fund, if I were in the private sector and I were charging you money for one thing but actually taking it and spending it on something else, that's called embezzling. In the federal government, that's called budgeting. I don't think it's appropriate. We need to change it. We need to be dedicating the dollars to the same purposes the user fee was charged for, and that is for ensuring the depth of our navigation channels. I think it can benefit, obviously, maritime certainty, it can benefit economic activity, and I think it can benefit our environment through the beneficial use program. I'm excited about the opportunity for us to make another step forward in reconciling this issue of the disparity between the amount collected and the amount actually spent on Harbor Maintenance Trust Fund type activities. When I was building water resource projects for the state of Louisiana, we routinely were able to build Corps of Engineer authorized projects for 1/2 or even 1/3 the cost as the Corps of Engineers estimated. We also were able to do it in a fraction of the time. If we can replicate those types of successes by giving you the discretion, by giving you the resources to carry out these projects, we can double or triple the number of projects we're building for the same amount of money. The current project development and delivery process is simply not responsive to the urgency of the needs of many of our ports, waterways, and communities around the coastal United States. We can and will do better. The Water Resources Development Act of 2018 that we're working on right now gives us that opportunity. I want to thank the AAPA for coming in and visiting with us, and a number of the member ports that have been through our offices to share with us your stories and your perspective. But I want to tell you that input should not stop. This is going to be an iterative process. I urge you to stay in touch with us, to continue sharing your insights, your ideas, your solutions with us, so we can ensure that our government is working and that we're truly reflecting the input from you, the stakeholders, the end users, in many of these projects and programs across the United States.